Have you ever wondered how El Chapo's deadliest hitmen use pure fear methods to control their operations? In the violent and chaotic world of El Chapo's cocaine empire, 4 generals laid the Sinaloa Cartel's fearsome foundation. As El Chapo is now imprisoned, it raised questions about the fate of these men. Have they suffered the same consequence as their leader, or are they still involved in criminal activities? In this video, we will dive into the matter and explore the lives of El Chapo's top hitmen, their tactics, and their eventual fates. So, get ready for a deep dive into the world of Mexico's most dangerous hitmen. In El Chapo's cocaine and violence kingdom, there were 4 generals who laid the Sinaloa Cartel's fearsome foundation with their violent acts. As El Chapo is now imprisoned, it raises questions about the fate of these men. Have they suffered the same consequences as their leader, or are they still involved in criminal activities? Let's dive into the matter. Number 1. Jose Antonio Torres, also known as Marufo, or the Jaguar, was El Chapo's top hitman and drug enforcer in the Mexican drug scene. Marufo was entrusted with supervising the transportation of drugs from Juarez to the U.S., a dangerous task as Juarez already had a cartel and El Chapo was encroaching on their territory. Marufo had a history in the drug scene, operating independently in North Chihuahua, Mexico. It's unclear how El Chapo met and hired Marufo, but in the mid-2000s, Marufo was trusted to lead the violent takeover of the Juarez cartel's smuggling routes. In 2006, it was rumored that Marufo led a highly skilled group of gunmen called the Gente Nueva, who worked for the Sinaloa Cartel and were focused on destroying the Juarez cartel and their armed wing, La Línea. Marufo was known for his ruthless tactics, and between 2008 and 2012, Gente Nueva executed at least 1,600 people under his leadership. One notable attack was the kidnapping and killing of a groom who was related to the Juarez cartel and also happened to be a U.S. citizen. This resulted in Marufo becoming a wanted fugitive by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, and some believed it marked the beginning of his downfall as the Jaguar. Despite previous violent acts, it was a particularly bold killing in 2009 that led to a reward being offered for Marufo's capture. In September of that year, Marufo ordered masked men to storm a military education center in Ciudad Juarez, where they forced 20 patients against a wall and fatally shot 18 of them, leaving the remaining 2 severely injured. Marufo was eventually found, arrested, and sent to the U.S. to face justice. Presently, he is serving a 40-year prison sentence in an Arizona correctional facility. Number 2. Manuel Aponte Alejandro Gomez Diaz, also known as El Bravo, was a respected member of the Sinaloa Cartel. Unlike other sicarios, he was not a societal outcast and had served in the Mexican Armed Forces from 2000 to 2006. Aponte's story took a treacherous turn when he was sent to track down El Chapo, but was bribed into switching sides and working for him. Eventually, Aponte became El Chapo's head of security, helping him evade arrest by building tunnels in northern Mexico and spying on other cartel members for traitors. His story reads like a script for a movie. Aponte was the mastermind behind keeping El Chapo out of reach of the Mexican army. In 2012, he played a vital role in abducting a Navy operations coordinator, Rodrigo Vines, who tried to trap El Chapo. Aponte summoned additional support to create a diversion and outsmart the military blockade, allowing for a successful escape. Following El Chapo's second capture in 2014, Aponte engaged in a power struggle for control over the Sinaloa Cartel. However, his mutilated body was discovered in La Cruz de Elota on April 9, 2014. Alejandro had been subjected to severe torture and multiple gunshot wounds, and his murder remains unsolved. Many people suspect that warring factions within the Sinaloa Cartel, whom Aponte had once spied upon, are responsible for his death. Number 3. Orso Ivan Gastelum, also known as El Cholo, was El Chapo's most trusted lieutenant and the chief enforcer of the Sinaloa drug cartel. He was recognized as one of the most lethal assassins in the Mexican drug industry and directly managed the squad of hitmen, overseeing their operations as well as the organization's excess. Nonetheless, it appears that El Cholo's behavior may have been the most extreme. On a particular occasion, El Cholo physically assaulted several police officers to such an extent that El Chapo reprimanded him. Furthermore, there was a widespread rumor circulating that El Cholo was directly responsible for the majority of the cartel's killings, with the vast majority being personally executed by him. In 2005, the government made an attempt to stop El Cholo's reign of terror by arresting and charging him with possession. However, due to a poor investigation, El Cholo was released by court order. After 3 years, he was arrested and imprisoned following an armed confrontation with soldiers. Unfortunately, he managed to escape a year later on August 9, 2008. The escape resulted in a wide-ranging search, and there were close calls in 2010, 2014, and 2015. In 2013, when the military pursued a group of armed individuals believed to have El Cholo, they accidentally killed his companion, Susan Flores, a beauty pageant winner who was 22 years old at the time and developed a relationship with the ruthless assassin while studying at the university in Culiacan. El Cholo was deeply pained by her demise, as evidenced by the 67 narco banners that were discovered in her hometown less than a month later. The banners conveyed a message, claiming that the soldiers responsible for her death were targeting El Cholo, but were unable to locate him. Additionally, they emphasized that the girl was not involved in the drug trade and had never even handled a firearm. Number 4. Mario Iglesias Villegas. At one point, Mario led El Chapo's Sinaloa Cartel hit squad, earning the name Grim Reaper due to his merciless killings. Despite his involvement in various crimes, it was his proficiency, inefficiently and unemotionally ending countless lives that garnered him admiration from other assassins within the cartel. In 2008, Mario became a member of the Sinaloa Cartel and received direct orders from El Chapo. During his 4 years with the cartel, between 2008 and 2012, Mario was responsible for the deaths of over 4,000 individuals in Ciudad Juarez. It has been suggested that his extreme violence played a significant role in the Sinaloa Cartel's success in its drug war against the Juarez cartel. However, in 2010, Mario made a critical mistake by participating in the kidnapping and murder of a U.S. citizen and their family members with Marufo and other assassins. The victims were discovered dead on May 10, 2010 in Ciudad Juarez. In 2012, Mario was arrested and later convicted on several charges, including money laundering, drug trafficking, murder, conspiracy, and possession of firearms. Despite his violent nature, Mario didn't have any loyal friends during this trial, and even his own foot soldiers and colleagues testified against him. Some of these witnesses had even been involved in criminal activities but were willing to bring down the Grim Reaper to save themselves. Eventually, a U.S. district court sentenced Mario to life imprisonment on March 3, 2022, and ordered him to pay a fine of $100,000 for his involvement in the cartel business. Thanks for tuning in to learn about some of the most notorious hitmen of the Sinaloa Cartel, which was once led by the infamous El Chapo. The fates of these men, who have been responsible for countless acts of violence and terror, is a cautionary tale about the perils of a life of crime. As law enforcement agencies around the world work tirelessly to dismantle drug cartels, we can only hope that stories like these serve as a reminder that crime doesn't pay, and that justice will always catch up with those who choose to live outside the law. And that's all for today. We hope you found this story as fascinating and as eye-opening as we did. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more informative videos here at Criminal Records, and we'll see you in the next video.